And it is Thursday, July 11th. Give me a second, guys. Getting a few things up. My cat's coming in to say hi. I want to, there we go. As usual, I want to bring up my desktop. Just a little easier. I can read the comments easier, and I can drop links. I'm yawning. I have not felt good today. You know what? I might switch it around sometime. I got a camera on my desktop. Haven't really used, haven't used often, and I should try sometime to live stream from the desktop. Boy, that might give you guys too much of a close-up. Nobody wants to see that. But that way I have my phone in my hand and I can drop links that way, which more people, I believe, are on their phones than they are on desktop. Flower says hi. Flower, how are you? I've been reading up on the Civil War going on in Myanmar, and it seems that they some of the things that I'm reading, I actually have it here, that the military is significantly weaker than previously believed. Let's see. Flower calls first. You're definitely the first. Laradux is here. Hey, Laradux. Runner Boy is here. Runner Boy says he had 2K views on live today. Wow. That's awesome, Runner Boy. That's definitely going to get your watch hours up. This is our friend Laradux's link. If you guys want to go and subscribe. I'm sure everyone is. Never hurts, though. Never hurts to drop a link. You know what, Laradux, one thing we've never talked about is what are your aims for your channel? I know you want more subscribers. I know you said you want 600 subscribers, as your next goal. This is our friend Runner Boy, who's hitting some big numbers. He's hitting some big numbers lift-wise, and he's hitting some big numbers view-wise. But, like, do you have an objective to your channel? What do you want it to be about? You know what I mean? A vision is the best word. Do you have a vision for your channel? Runner Boy said already followed him. Yeah, I figured as much. Flower says about like 5 silent jets from Russia. I just looking at a little article, United States Institute of Peace, and they're talking about nine things to look out for that the Myanmar military is not capable of retaking the territory it has lost in ethnic minority areas. That the apparatus of population and territory control is withering. And that this year might prove decisive for the conflict. I hope so. Just letting you know I'm thinking about you, my friend. Rona Boy says that he was so surprised. Yeah, I bet. Flower says, yep, the military is weaker, but they have better weapons. Rona Boy says it was basically 50 people the entire time. Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that when I was there. You all, Rona Boy is going to upload it live on Saturday. Eric LaPointe's here. Eric, how are you? What's new in the world of Eric LaPointe? Barb is here. Barb says, hey everyone, hugs and blessings and prayers to all. Thank you, my friend. Barb, how are you? Your date is coming up. Just a little over a week and a day. Runner Boy says, I think Russia will eventually give up or have a change of leader. We can hope so. Eric Point says that he's great. Awesome. He's trimming trees. There we go. I'm dropping Eric LaPointe's link. Feel free to drop your own links. You know what? Feel free to drop your own links and talk about your channel. We're not officially a a channel live stream, but we're not a channel live stream. It is whatever it happens to be each and every session. So, you know, I was asking Laradox his vision on his channel. I think it's kind of important. If you're growing something, you have a vision. I'm not saying you have to. You might just because it's all fun. But if growing your channel is an objective, what's the vision? Flower says there was a very, very rare gem that was found here, and the president sold it to China for more than enough to feed their generation of 7. Interesting. Barb says, yes, it's getting more scared. Yes, getting more scared. But keep praying and trying to stay with go. Sending prayers to you, Barb. Yeah, I know it's frightening, but you know what? Your recovery starts the day after surgery. Your recovery starts the day of surgery. Once you have the surgery, then you begin to recover and you start reclaiming more of your life. So my prayers are with you. Our friend Optimob Timo is here. Did you guys realize how talented Bax is? Bax is Timo's companion, his furry companion. And his dog can do decorative poop. Where's Mr. Poopinator when we need him? This is our friend's channel, Optimob's channel. You can go check out the decorative poop for yourself. Flower says hi to Miss Barb. Everything good there? Barb says hi to Flower, and just the cancer has taken all my energy. I'm fighting it hard. Sorry, guys. So, I guess Laradox has left the building, came in and said hi. But, hey, guys, if you do have a vision for your channel, what is it? sometimes it takes shape on its own just by going. That's what happened with me. I didn't start mine. I don't know, much the same for Eric Lapointe, I believe. He didn't start coming to YouTube with the intent of having with the intent of becoming Mr. 1K on his way to becoming Mr. 2K. It was probably the farthest thing from his mind that he would actually ever have a user channel instead of just coming to watch, stuff. But as it grows, for me, things began to take shape. I started doing the burpee videos, and then I started talking after my burpee video, and then I decided to do live stream and continue what I was talking about during my burpee videos. And more, I started getting a vision of what I would like it to be, which is just a place of inspiration and healing in whatever form it could happen to take. Hence the nature shorts, hence the talks that we're having here. I just wanted to say hence, so I threw it out there. Flower says, well, sincerely, I hope you get better. Thank you for that, Flower. Yep, we're all sending out love to you, Barb. Timo's having supper. What's for supper today, Timo? Barb says, thank you, Flower. I will have 2 more surgeries after this one, so I keep God and Jesus in my life. Flower says she's back to 88 subs, but it's fine because I saw that coming. Yeah, we can't go too up with the ups and too down with the downs. I do that with my nature shorts. That just the other day I hit one that 4,000 plus, and still going strong actually. And then another one hit 2,000, another one hit 1,000, and then some were in the tens. Who can figure? If I were to go up and down with each one, it would be absolutely miserable. Sometimes people watch things. Sometimes people don't watch things. A lot has to do with algorithms. I could probably do a better job algorithming myself. I just coined that term. You guys can feel free to use it. Algorithming. Feel free. Take it and run with it, guys. Mocha's here. I'm sorry, Master Sergeant Mocha. Master Sergeant Retired Mocha is here. Let's see. We got a laughing emoji from Optimum. Definitely, guys, check out the decorative poop. This is the short. Optimum dropped a short. This is the most talented thing I've ever seen a dog do. Mocha, make sure you go up above to where Optimum dropped the short, and check out the video. Barb says she just got back from one appointment and about to leave for another. Hey, Barb, you're traveling with our love and you're traveling with our prayers, my friend. Runner Boy says he also gained a few subs from the live. Awesome. Gotta love when that happens. Optimob says 100K is the vision. Oh, you'll get there. No doubt. If I had a motto, a vision statement, what are they called? They're called something else, right? Let's call it a vision statement. If I had a vision statement for Optimum, it would be spread positivity and beauty. I'll have to think of it. I had it in my mind and then it slipped out. But it's definitely, Optimum is spreading positivity and beauty. The positivity and beauty of Switzerland, although not limited to Switzerland. Flower says, I hope to become a positive channel, hopefully a faceless channel, but we'll know in the future, hopefully. I'll definitely see you being a positive channel. as well. You know what? I thought you'd be a really positive influence for the Therians, the Therian community. Point says, yes, Yogi, you're right. Never put thought into it just yet. I think your channel is just taking shape on its own, and it's a really great shape where it's going. You definitely show the beauty of Connecticut, and that might surprise a lot of people. I don't know if a lot of people really think of Connecticut as being as beautiful as it is, or at least in your part of Connecticut. Maybe when people picture Connecticut suburbs, or they picture the Oceanside, the Long Island Sound side. My time in Connecticut, I mentioned Mystic Seaport, New Haven when I was a kid, but also backpacking the Appalachian Trail through Connecticut, and it's beautiful. And as I mentioned before, who knew that Connecticut has a small moose population? Of course, I knew that because I know weird things about moose. I know weird things about moose and moose populations. Let's see. Timo says Greek cheese with baked potato. Sounds good. Mocha says, sending healing thoughts to you, Barb. Thank you for that. And she says, hi, the little ray of sunshine. Our friend Night Watcher is here. Mir's here. Sooner or later, I'll figure out, should I be saying Mir or should I be saying Mir? You guys let me know. It's the price I pay for live streaming and not knowing how to say specific words. Night Watcher says, today's fact, in Bangladesh, having maids or a kajamola is normal for families to have. It isn't you mentioned this before, it isn't a rich people thing here. It's kind of classic, classist, but still middle-class families hire poor people. Well, it's nice that it's helping people stay employed. Flower says she was pretty sure that trolls were subbed to me, so I knew I'd lose some subs. But, not surprising. Yeah, I'm sure I've got a bunch. Night Watcher says to work for them and do daily tasks. And we got Flower with an enthusiastic greeting for Night Watcher. Mer says, how are you everyone here? I'm actually slightly under the weather. Mary Lou, how are you? Mary Lou says, you have a lot of books. I do have a lot of books. Quite a few books. And this is just the icing on the book cake. Mary says that, Flower, I'll give you more. Very nice. Ahmed? Ronan Boy says he's having fried fear dinner now. A fried fear. I'm not sure. Is that, what exactly is that, Ronan Boy? Flower says, I don't know what happened, but I did always want to get subs and be popular and anonymous. But I think I should worry more about the side effects. Smart thinking. I think about that too. I see that with a couple friends and their channels as they become more popular, and how it's taking shape. and it seems to be in a way that might be harmful. Um, so I worry. For me, I'm not quite as worried. I mentioned before that I put my faith in my defenselessness, that um, I have nothing to defend. I won't defend anything. Really, well, who knows? I might find myself in that position, but I hope I can remember to keep surrendering to my own defenselessness as far as stuff goes. Um, Someone could make an accusation about me, and who knows? Maybe it's true. I've been an idiot for a large majority of my life. Um, but I've been a fairly honest and easygoing idiot. Um, I've been a fairly, gentle and non-harmful. Somebody might come in and say, hey, this guy has such a positive attitude, but in 2012 he flipped me off in traffic, and I got a video to prove it. And I'd be like, yeah, that probably did happen. The goal is never to not get angry. The goal is to remember peace as soon as possible after you get angry. I believe things like that were, they didn't occur often, and I'd like to think that it's wouldn't happen again. However, I'm not doing a whole lot of driving now, so who knows? You guys could be flipping me off right now on live stream, and I wouldn't even know. But if I did know, I can promise you something, I would not get angry. So did you guys check out the decorative poop yet? The video is right up ahead. Mary Lou says hi to Mer. Thank you for that, Mary Lou. Rona Boy says YouTube sometimes remove bots from channels. Yeah, I figured that too. Rona Boy says, fry for dinner, a full English breakfast. I do not know a full English breakfast. It does not surprise me that it's fried, though. Flower says she knows how to get on the algorithms. You got to teach me. How do I get on the algorithms? What is my secret pathway to the algorithms? Do I have to hop on it? Can I step on it? Let's see. Mer says that. Murray is a nature channel. Awesome. We are about to go visit. Not only are we about to go visit, we are about to drop a link. Welcome to all nature channels. Welcome to all channels. I largely consider Eric LaPointe does his burpees, he does his live streams. I largely consider Eric LaPointe a nature channel. Again, as I mentioned, sharing the beauty of Connecticut, sharing the beauty of farm life and what he sees. Burpees are a bonus. For some people, shirtless burpees are a bonus. I gotta admit, I'm not one of those people. Let's see. Eric Point says, Mary Lou, nice channel. Flower says, yeah, I have some lives, but they're private. Night Watcher says, yeah, there's some unsaid rules of the internet. It is sad, but the worst of the worst people are on the internet. Think of the internet as a Wild West. It's peaceful and also the deepest pit of hell. Mary Lou's TV says, Eric, thanks. Flower says one got copyrighted because of a song that got played on the game. Yeah, I try to be really careful about that. I'd love to listen to some jazz as I'm working out, but it's not going to happen. Our friend Odom is here. Odom, how are you? Flowers wants to know. She says, "Hi, Sir Odom. How's the garden?" And she said that Night Watcher was definitely. Night Watcher knows the internet. What I'm afraid is once your channel gets some sort of like negative connotation, uh, it might be really hard for some people to shake it. So if you want a channel that is based on nature, on positivity, on healing, then you need to be mindful of the message at all times you're putting out. My thoughts on that topic. Runner Boy says eggs, bacon, bread, stuffed tomatoes, black pudding. I've never had black pudding before. Traditional English breakfast. Odom says hello to Flower. Flower says, oh, watch viral vids. Since you did, you might get more lucky. You can say brain rot stuff or do a dance or a trend. I cannot do any of those things. I cannot do any of those things. All right, I guess I could do any of those things. I guess I should say I will not do any of those things. No one wants to see an old yogi do a dance, even if it's an old yogi dance. If I had, two videos that I thought might go viral, I had a pooping cormorant and I had a pooping hawk. How could those not go viral? How many people can lay claim that they have seen a cormorant poop in person? Of course, I also don't want to get labeled as the pooping animal channel. come here to watch animals poop. Although, hey, that could be a trend. It's hard to catch. I might be filming for the rest of my life and never see another cormorant do that. Let's see, not what it says. It's Moharum time. Don't know what that is. All right, can't sleep today. I guess Moharum is a Shia Islam tradition where a lot of people parade. Okay, and bang drums. And they practice sing all night in my area. Rest in peace to my sleep. I'm sorry about that. Flower says, just me or the stream lagging? I don't think it's me. I could be personally lagging. That's been known to happen. Let's see. Now what you says, no Flower. The old man strat is to give some elderly wisdom. Have you ever seen those old man gives advice videos with 10 million views? I haven't seen any. So what kind of, I hope I'm old enough to give advice. What kind of advice do you guys need? Let's see if we can get something to go viral. I mentioned before, I got people every so often coming in and asking for advice, and I do my best to mention that I don't really give advice because, one, I have no more wisdom than you do. I have no more intelligence than you do. I might have different life experience than someone, but that doesn't put me in a position to give advice. However, I'm perfectly happy to talk about things so that maybe between the two of us, maybe between all of us in the chat, that we can come to some sort of conclusion that brings about a sense of peace. I'd much rather you reach a sense of peace than a sense of, well, I've gotten some good advice. How's that for some advice, guys? For some reason, Night Watcher's comment reminded me, if you've ever seen the one episode in The Simpsons where one one of the newspaper's headline, and it has a picture of Abe Simpson, the grandfather, and it says, "Old man yells at clouds." Talk about life goals. That is my life goal. Old man, old man yells at clouds. Let's see. Flower says, "Hey Yogi, try the Tyler dance." I don't know the Tyler dance. That's going to be my defense. I don't know. That means I'd have to learn it. Now I just says, "Hey Yogi, try the Harlem Shake." Don't, by the way. You can count on that, Night Watcher. There's probably videos of me dancing in the 1980s and early 1990s when I had super, super long hair, down to my elbows long hair, and flipping it all over the place, dancing to the Grateful Dead, because there was people with cameras. There was newscasters because they were filming the Grateful Dead concert. There was, just people out there filming. Not the way we do it nowadays. Now these were fairly big cameras. Let's see. Mer says, "Sir Yogi, Goldie 248, awesome. Mirror is working for people, that's for sure." Noodle says, "That's a great idea." What is oh my GOPD? Nightwatcher says, "Old man yells at clouds." It's a life goal. Do the most crazy shit. This is about as crazy as I get, guys, these days. I have spent a lifetime doing crazy stuff. Flower says, "Search the Tyler dance." I will search that. Search the Harlem Shake. I think I've seen the Harlem Shake before, but don't do the Harlem Shake, by the way. It's horrid. You can count on that. I will not do that. Can also swerve in a dip. You are saying these things like you think I can possibly do them. Let's see. Leo said so. The Zen Master Yogi himself. Good day to you, Sir Yogi the Goat. Much love and happiness, respect, brother. Hope your day is great and your mood even better. Stay strong, Yogi. When is the next challenge? Hey, here's a challenge. 20 minutes. Nasal breathing, 1 pumps. No, not going to do any rocking chair. Just straight up 1 pumps. 20 minutes. Unbroken. So your feet got to stay planted where they land to start the next rep. How many can you get? That's tough, nasal breathing. I think that is tougher than intervals, nasal breathing. Eric Point says, "How do we find these tapes?" You know what? I bet if you Googled up or YouTubed up Grateful Dead, Merriweather Post Pavilion, 1981, 82, 83, 84. I think those were the years. My memory's a little shaky about those times, guys. You might find something. Whether or not you'd find something of me in particular, but if you search the crowd, you might see some crazy long blonde-haired hippie dude. That was me. Brian Lane says, "Hello, Eric and chat. Wish you all a great day." Thank you, Eric. Brian Lane caught a wonderful photo of a hummingbird today. Let's see. Sabine's here. Sabine, how are you? Let's see. Eric Point says Leo the champ. Uh, the one, the sledgehammer. So, what do you think of that challenge, Leo? It takes the nasal breathing to a whole new level because there's no time to recover. You got to do a steady pace. Um, I'm sure you'll blow 200 out of the water. So it's got to be unbroken, nasal breathing, and how many you can get in 20 minutes. Let's see. Flower says, man speaks dots. Oh, what did I miss up here? Noodle says, that's become Yogi's producers. And Flower says, that's the thing. I know you can't. People love seeing old people try. You guys are confusing me with an old person. I am older. I'm not yet old. I got another year before I'm old. Um, Officially, I guess I have 3 more years before I get old. People, people love seeing old people try and feel miserably. Well, that sounds like a challenge. If I was going to do some type of dance on YouTube, I would not fail. Or at least I would not feel miserable. Well, all right, I might fail, but if I did fail, I would certainly fail miserably. If you're gonna fail miserably, guys. Go all in. Don't do anything part way. You know. If you fail, you are 100% farther off than someone who didn't try. Leo says unbroken. A weird subject for me. Does it mean no stopping, no slowing down? What exactly is unbroken? You can stop. You can slow down. You can't step away from where your feet are. So every rep, wherever your feet land, that is where you do your next rep. So you could slow the pace down as long as you stay in that position. You can't walk away. You can't put your head down. You could throw it back, I guess. Um, but where you are is where you are. It's intense. Uh, Everything that I do, except for, at least right now, except for the intervals, is almost all unbroken. Sabine says we just finished supper, did the dishes now, and I have time to come to join you. I appreciate that, Sabine. Always enjoy your company, my friend. Flower says you do look much younger than your years. The nicest thing that Flowers has ever said to me. Let's see. Night Witcher says, bro has the confidence to creep woman online. If he ain't extrovert, who is? Who are we talking about there? I am most certainly not an extrovert. Leo says, is that it? That's unbroken? Man, I had it all wrong. That's easy, bro. Tomorrow, I shall get it done. Um, what did you think it was? Hardly anyone does unbroken anymore, but that used to be back in the day, which was 2 years ago. Um, was generally the way most people would approach it. Murr says that he's doing fine, and thanks Sabine for asking. Night Watcher says his friend, an iPad kid, a creeper to women, a master artist, a dog who is Dutch, and a foolish cat with Burlocks. Interesting. Brian says, most I ever did was 500 unbroken rocking chair burpees. Awesome. The only reason I issued the challenge without rocking chairs um, is because you want to go for max rep. And although you could do max rep rocking chair burpees, there's something about that up and down that really gets to you. So being said, that's good to hear, Tamir. Leo said the thought unbroken meant the pace you start is at the pace you keep, and you don't slow down. Also thought that there is no stopping during the moment. You do when you feel unbroken, so it was wrong. Yeah, I mean, if you need to, pause, interrupt, as long as you don't step away, it's still unbroken. You stay wherever you land, that's where you start the next rep. However, since we're going for max numbers, with 200 being the minimum, means you got to set, all throughout and nasal breathing, 10 reps a minute. Noodle says, oh no, flower speaks in dots. You know what? It's good to be bilingual. Although for you guys, what? Trilingual? As both of you guys are excellent, at least typing English. Flower says, bro, I'm pretty sure I laugh at my own jokes more than others laugh at them. This is the same with me, because I'm over here dying and others are just like shrugging. That was a shrug, by the way. Leo says, I love and discomfort, Brother Yogi. I will work for it. Don't worry about that. Have no doubt whatsoever. Let's see. Brian says, well, I learned my unbroken rocking chair burpees from Paul from Oregon over a few months ago. Paul's been a little more active lately. Great to see. I did his workout today. I did my kettlebell presses and then did an EMOM workout, every minute on the minute. And his rep scheme was 5 1-pump burpees followed by 1 5-pump burpees. And then you have until the top of the minute, however long it takes. It took me about 27 seconds to do that. And then you start at the top of the minute. And I deducted it from however long it took me to do my presses. I had 22 minutes on the clock. It took me about 6 minutes to do my presses. And then I went right into the burpees, almost right in. Brian says I don't really do rocking chair burpees anymore. Yeah, you know what? I didn't notice that, but now that you mention it, I can't recall the last time I saw you do rocking chairs. Night Watcher says bye. Let's see. Not what you said. I told Chat GPT I'm a yapper, and that he said, and hey, whether you're a human or a chatty chihuahua, sometimes it's good to yap. That's what the world needs. Keep on yapping. I think sometimes that's what the world needs. I also think the world could do with a day of silence. Not going to happen. I would settle for an hour of silence. Imagine if the entire world practiced an hour of silence. No planes taking off, no cars driving. If you had to speak, it would be in a hushed tone. No TV, no radio, no social media. Just an hour of quiet. Imagine the transformation that would happen in the world. It would be absolutely amazing. Silence, interior silence, is almost a lost commodity, because even when even when we try to have a little silence, we have an interior conversation going on that we don't even notice anymore. Reaper says, Paul is a solid man. Flower says, they did you dirty. In reply to Night Watcher. Yeah, Paul is solid, that's for sure. And Reaper says, hello, beautiful YouTube family. I mentioned Paul in my little chat after my workout because when I first started doing live streams, it was Paul from Oregon, it was Osiris, it was the original It Is What It Is, and Mocha would come by, Destiny would be here. Trying to think who else would stop by and chat for a bit. But it was, it was a small group, and they really helped shaped how the way I do live streams. So much appreciated to all of the ones mentioned. It Is What It Is evolved into the legendary, he was legendary back then, but even more legendary Burpee Reaper. Night Witcher says, bro, Chat GPT called me dog. Reaper says, we all need to thank the one who started the rocking chair Burpee King. Yeah, there you go. Truly legendary. Burpee King, Moses. William's here. William, my friend, how are you? Flower says, if we had an hour of silence, me and my friends would be over here giggling, the loudest in the room. Giggling is acceptable. But you know what? It's a transformative power. So I think even at a certain point, the urge to giggle, man, we fall into that hush. And the interior dialogue starts to diminish. And you start realizing how unnecessary it truly is 99.9% of the time. We don't need to have a running commentary on everything in life. And the commentary is largely the same every day. It is mostly a critique on how things are going. Judgments, grievances, resentments. And every once in a while, there's that pause of something that makes us consider how beautiful it is. However, the noticing itself, the noticing of something beautiful is always done in silence. Let's see. It's been a while since we've done some quotes. So bear with me, guys. Of course, I think my all-time favorite, and I use it all the time, is that Herman Melville. I absolutely love Herman Melville. More than I love Herman Melville books. Because Herman Melville wrote Moby Dick in a sunburnt cornfield in western Massachusetts, at least 500 miles away from the ocean. And he sat in that field and imagined himself surrounded by the ocean, and he wrote what is probably the greatest seafaring novel ever. And yet, the scenery all took place in his mind. He was able to imagine it. In Moby Dick, he says, silence is the only voice of God. Here, Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon is someone our friend Squirrel Sniper said he believes is the true writer of all of Shakespeare's works. Francis Bacon says, silence is a sleep that nourishes wisdom. Einstein. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Albert Einstein. I'm going to look for one more, guys. Hope you don't mind the quotes. This is from Rumi, the great, great Persian poet. Die and be quiet. Quietness is the surest sign that you've died. Your old life was a frantic running from silence. Move outside the tangle of fear thinking. No one says it like Rumi. Let me give one more from Rumi. I choose to love you in silence, for in silence I find no rejection. I choose to love you in loneliness, for in loneliness no one owns you but me. I choose to adore you from a distance, for distance will shield me from pain. I choose to kiss you in the wind, for the wind is gentle on my lips. I choose to hold you in my dreams, for in my dreams you have no end. And here, of course, Rumi is using the metaphor or allegory of a lover for the beloved, for his vision of God. Let's see, Flower says, should I do a live? You should do a live. So that, my friends, is the power of silence. And that's why devoting just a little bit, just the art of meditation, is the art of being cultivated by science. That silence isn't something that we can cultivate. It is something that we can be exposed to. Silence is always present. That's the first thing we notice during meditation. Let's see. My watcher very wisely says, I'm speaking too much. I'm silencing myself. That's an important thing to note, important thing to bring yourself to. Most people never, ever hear themselves. There was a story of a Hebrew master who would give sermons, spontaneous sermons, where he would stand up and he would talk about the wonders of God. He would talk about the beauty of God's existence, the beauty of the world that came from God. And in every sermon, in every talk that he gave, he would suddenly stop, grow silent, and sit down, right in the middle of the most beautiful sermon at all. And this would happen over and over and over again. And someone finally said, why? Why do you stop? And why do you sit down? And why do you refuse to speak any longer? And he said, because when I'm talking, if I hear myself, I'm no longer talking about God. I am talking about stuff. I'm offering a description. And I sit down. It's a good thing to keep in mind. Let's see. Ashutosh says, hello, my friend. Which is your favorite book? It's a good question. I'm asked that probably once a week, and it changes quite a bit. Although I think fiction almost always stays the same. Fiction, I almost always say Lonesome Dove, or I might say Confederacy of Dunces, or 100 Years of Solitude. Those three, and a few others come to mind. It was The Legend of Bagger Vance, I absolutely love. Skip the movie, read the book. The movie became a Will Smith movie. Nothing the matter with a Will Smith movie, especially if you're a Will Smith fan. However, um, when you take a great book and you want to turn it into a blockbuster movie, you lose the essence of the book. Everything changes. The book, The Legend of Bagger Vance, is a allegory for the Bhagavad Gita, but it takes place after World War I on a golf course instead of a battlefield in ancient India. But the message is the same: discovering your authentic self. Let's see. Nonfiction, that changes a lot too. You know, it all depends on what I've just read, to be honest with you. I guess, I could go with nonfiction in uh, ancient wisdom, Bhagavad Gita or the Tao Te Ching, or I could go nonfiction in, inspiration. Born to Run might be up there. Let's see. Ashta says, do you like Akia? I think you mentioned that once before. It's Japanese. I don't remember exactly. It's the Japanese art of self-improvement, the Japanese art of... fill me in, my friend. Our friend Goldie is here. Goldie says, hi there, lovely people. Hi there, lovely Goldie. How are you? How much time do we have left on the workday? I enjoyed your video this morning, Goldie. In the last minute at work. Nice. Eric Point says he's back. Had a call. Did you solve any world problems while I was gone? No, not for lack of trying, though. I talk a lot about silence. If that's not a contradiction, I don't know what is. And I honestly believe an hour of silence, specifically an hour of our own internal silence, would solve every problem, because we would no longer believe that we were an ego, that we would see that everything stems from that holy silence. Cody says it was filmed yesterday as the tram was taking me home. Nice. I mentioned and left a comment and said it was nice seeing the river from a different perspective. It was nice to see the river from a dry perspective, with you being dry. I think it was Pascal. Let me, once I start looking for quotes, all bargains are off in the live stream. Blaise Pascal? Pretty sure it was Blaise Pascal. He said all a man's problems stem from his inability to Let me get it completely right. There we go. And it was Pascal. All of humanity's problems stem from our inability to sit quietly in a room alone. All of man's problems stem from our inability to sit quietly in a room alone. 1 hour of silence, honestly, I believe we would solve every single problem. For one, we would learn that the world is made of our projections, and that our projections cause our perception. So the world that we perceive isn't a true world. It's a world based upon the projections that we're having. It's based upon our perceptions. Because everything has a label, everything has a viewpoint, everything has means something to us. Although, as William Shakespeare said, or according to Squirrel Sniper, Sir Francis Bacon, in Hamlet, nothing is good nor bad lest thinking makes it so, which is also the one of the very first lessons in A Course in Miracles, that none of this, and then you name it, whatever your eyes see, has any meaning. It's a meaningless world, which is tough to hear, that we live in a meaningless world. However, as we progress, as we continue to progress, we get to the lesson that says God did not create a meaningless world. Meaning, it's only the world that we perceive that is meaningless, and that we are superimposing our views on the meaning that God has. That when we look at a tree and we see future lumber, or what could be done with the property when it's gone, if we only see what is it good for us, we've superimposed our label on the sheer beauty, on the sheer nothingness of a tree. And by nothingness, I mean it doesn't have a human label. A tree is simply existence itself. It doesn't need a label other than this. This is why words fail so many mystics, especially in Buddhism, and they'll use something like thisness or isness or suchness, and explains it so beautifully. So, well, we're doing quotes. This is what happens when I start doing quotes. I know I might be falling behind in the chat. Make sure you yell at me if I do. I really need some kind of beeper. I mentioned before that perhaps even a shock button. But who would I trust? Who would I trust with a shock button, shock a yogi, that would not just indiscriminately press it just to see me do a little dance? Let's see. If I can find it. This is Franz Kafka. I'll do this one quote and then I'll jump back in the conversation. Franz Kafka on meditation. One of my favorites, and the one that I always go to when people say, so what really is meditation? And here it is. You do not need to leave your room. Remain sitting at your table and listen. Do not even listen. Simply wait. Be quiet, still, and solitary. The world will freely offer itself to you to be unmasked. It has no choice. It will roll in ecstasy at your feet. Absolutely love that. All right. I'm back in, guys. Goldie says she was laughing when I read the message. Well, if I could help make you laugh or even smile for just a moment of your day, then that makes me happy. You know what, Eric? That's a good point. You can trust Paradox. I bet you're absolutely right. He would definitely not shock me. He would ask me to subscribe to his channel. He would ask me if I love Jesus, but he would not press the shock button. This is why, you know what? I won't always agree with Paradox. I will always come to his defense because, one, he's 15 years old. He's a bundle of enthusiasm for the stuff that he believes in, the stuff that he loves. And that's not a bad thing to be. We all get tempered by life. You know what I mean? Life calms us down. That's what life does. But it doesn't need to happen now. And, you know, I think all of us are providing the opportunity for him to get there. So yeah, Eric, that was an excellent point. I noticed that Eric left himself out of that position because I think the temptation would just be too great. I could actually hear Eric thinking, what if I just tapped it lightly? Don't press it all the way down. I'm not going to hold it. But what if I just pressed it lightly? What would happen? Because, of course, everyone wants to know. Everyone knows that when you shock somebody, their hair stands straight up. But somewhere, someone with that button is going to start thinking, what would happen if you shock a bald guy? What's going to happen? What would happen if you shock a bald guy with a mustache and a beard? Did they stand straight out? So yeah, I think the temptation of answering those questions would be too great for some people. Let's see. So we had Mary Lou's TVs come in. I'm going to drop her link again. We have met on another, I believe it was Goga on one of his live streams that I connected with her and she connected back. But I haven't spent a whole lot of time in her channel. So we have a conversation that has lagged a bit. This might be a sign to stop short for the day. Never a bad thing. I can't have an hour-long conversation largely about silence and then just keep talking about it over and over again. I guess I could, but that sort of defeats the purpose of that previous hour's worth of talking, doesn't it? Unless if anyone has a question about anything. It could be Ask a Yogi time, at least for a few minutes. And if not, then let's go ahead and we'll call it an afternoon. I'll be back in the evening-ish. I'm checking something real quick on my channel. And, all right, guys, let's wrap it up. Appreciate you coming in, everyone hanging out, and I'll be back in about, what time is it? It's 2 o'clock, so I'll be back in about 3 hours. Usually I say 2 hours, but today it's going to be 3. I I might catch up on some stuff. I think I mentioned that I'm revisiting my Reiki certification about 4, maybe even 5 years ago. I got Reiki certified from 1, 2, all the way to master, and then I largely didn't do much with it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do some Reiki healing work on my 2 little doggies that weren't doing that well, but they passed away shortly after, um, and I fell out of practice. But as we have some friends who are um, in need of some prayers, in need of some energy, that I felt it was a good time to revisit that. And the great thing with Reiki is that you are uh, initiated is not the right word. You are opened through a little ceremony where um, your ability to receive and extend Reiki is enhanced by another master, someone who's been there. And once that happens, then it's happened. You have it forever. But the techniques are something that should be practiced. So as I haven't practiced it, I don't really want to do a whole lot of Reiki work, although I have a little bit until I review. So I'm doing that. I'm revisiting the class work. I'm also doing a little class on the bandhas. Bandhas are the energetic locks used in pranayama. Um, if you're doing pranayama breath work, but you're not doing the bandhas, you're not really doing pranayama. Doesn't mean you're not getting benefits. You're getting extraordinary benefits. But the bandhas, those locks, are sort of like when you tie a knot. If you tie a knot in a hose, the pressure builds up, and then you undo the knot, and the water just spreads out in a rush. That's the same thing with doing an energy lock as we're doing breath work. Just causes this rush of energy. Our friend Ice is here. Ice, my friend, how are you? I'm just about ready to wrap it up for the day. Well, not for the day, but for the afternoon. But I'll be back in about 3 hours if you got time later today. All right. I'm going to take my own suggestion and give myself some quiet time. I will see everyone later if you're around and you want to talk. Take care.